It's been about 6 months since we quit our jobs in San Francisco Bay Area, sold most everything we have, and purchased a sailboat in Croatia. So far, we covered about 650 nautical miles in northern Adriatic and have been exploring the stunning Dalmatian coast.
Stepping on a roller coaster, going down, but I never felt this high. Biggest ride of the century. Wanna drop into the ocean.
On previous episode, we covered our upriver passage to Kirka waterfalls. We figured we are not quite ready to leave this magical spot, so decided to stay another day.
Hello, Ramona. I can't shake the simplest feeling beyond the ghost. We stand on the opposite shore. Hello, Ramona. I reach through mysterious ceilings, my only hope. I look for the things I don't know.
So these swans are pretty interesting. Every time a boat comes into the marina or to pick up a mooring ball, they come over to meet and greet you, check you out, and they seem to always know when a new boat is arriving. They immediately have a little conversation with each other, and the little swan gangs conquer and divide, and they all race over to different boats, check them out. So these two have been our buddies all day long on this mooring ball, and they'll go away for a little bit when a new boat comes over, but they kind of like Culinary, so they keep coming back every so often to check in on us. In time for dinner with our little swan friend. You can't stay away. And what do we have over here? Ooh, miracles. Yeah, they're very social creatures, and they've really taken away.
Hello, Ramona. I mistook you for a dream. The engine glows, and I guess you always seem to know. Hello, Ramona. I push back the serious feeling, the end's unknown, to get back the life I used to know.
So it's been day 2 in Skradin, and we really love this place. That's why we stayed 2 days.
Yeah.
As you saw in the earlier footage, it was pretty spectacular arriving into this spot on a sailboat.
Yeah, we came from the sea, and then we got into this delta and we followed this river. And what you guys see behind us is actually fresh water. This is kind of the towards the end of the river. It's kind of a lake. And behind us is the ACI Marina where we stayed last night, and tonight we moved to this mooring field, which is a little bit further away from the ACI Marina, but it's beautiful and there's no one around us, so we really are enjoying it right now.
And I think that's one of the hot tips is it's a Friday night, and what we've understood is if you come during the week, that's the busy time here because of all the charter boats. So in Croatia, typically people are checking in and out on a Friday and Saturday with their boats. And so during the midweek up here, it's busy. But during the weekend, when they're bringing the boats back or checking the boats out, it's a little bit more quiet. So hot tip there. What other hot tips do we have?
Well, yesterday, what we did was we rented bicycles, and then we went up that way. I don't know if you guys see that, but there's a blue bridge there. But if you follow that direction, that you go to the waterfalls of Gurkha, and they're just spectacular. We really enjoyed our time there. We spent maybe 2 hours or so, but it was so
crazy
nice.
Crowded.
Yeah, it was
crazy crowded though. Super nice, but crazy crowded.
It is. It looked like it's from a children book, but it's real. Like it's unbelievable. It was crowded, so we had.
Second hot tip would be come in the morning. Come
Yes.
early morning. So if you're sailing up, come up in the afternoon, have your evening dinner over here in the little town.
Yeah.
Wake up early before the big buses arrive and the big boats start taking massive amounts of tourists.
So they
over.
open at 8 o'clock. So as early as you can make it there is your best chance to discover that place by yourself and no one around. They're spectacular. They're beautiful. I recommend to everybody, but as so long as you avoid the crowds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then I would say my third tip up here would be if you come a little bit later than we did. We were arriving quite early. We were coming through the Delta area and the river maybe around 8 o'clock, 9. But if you come a little bit later, then the mussel and the oyster farms will be open, and you can grab some fresh mussels and oysters if you're into that. And especially if you grab one of these mooring balls that we're at right now, and Kavanch did some drone footage, you'll see that. It's amazing.
Yeah.
You can clean your shellfish and
cook it on board.
Just cook it on board.
Yeah.
Super awesome, wonderful thing to do.
Yeah, when we're coming up, they weren't open, but when we're going out, we will probably video some of them, and hopefully we get some too. But they were recommended by everybody that we met here. So on the way back, we're gonna check them out too.
Exactly. And then the other fourth tip I would say is just be cautious of the swans. So as you've seen probably some other footage we just showed, I kind of got obsessed with videotaping the swans around here because they're remarkable, they're beautiful. In California we don't have many swans, and so I didn't know a lot about them, and they are gorgeous and all of that, but they can be a little
friendly.
fierce. They're
friendly at the beginning. They're curious. And we got our lesson the very first time, but we start watching the tourists just like us. Oh, there are swans around. They get close to them, and they can
they're trying to nip them.
Yeah, they can start to get mean.
Yesterday we were hanging out at a beach, and we saw a man and a lady, very close calls. They were trying to nip them, and almost got them. So yes, respect the swans.
Respect the swans.
But very cool place. I would say if you're doing even a land tour of Croatia, but especially a sailing trip, definitely put this on your must-do list because it's an absolute unique experience. So to my left and to my right are a couple oyster and mussel farms that we were thinking about stopping on our way out, but we decided to leave a little bit early today. There's some strong wind coming in, so we can get settled at our next spot, and they're not quite open yet. Otherwise, it would have been cool to dock up the boat, grab some fresh mussels maybe, eat them later tonight. But then we also thought, you know what, it would probably just be a little easier if we just order some at a restaurant. It's pretty cool that Croatia has gobs of fresh oysters and mussels everywhere. We personally love shellfish, and I guess they're one of the few places in the Med for oysters in particular that can produce them. They are very, very good. I still have to say my preference is our oysters back home from Point Reyes, Tomales Bay. Those are the super bomb, but it is really, really fun and nice to see fresh oysters on the menus when you're dining out here.
Our next stop is the town of Vodice, where we need to provision the boat and fill up the gas tanks before our planned passage further south.
Vikao svi
We left Vodice and we are on our way to Trojer. Today's sail is about 36 nautical miles. We're supposed to have good winds. Right now it is coming from the beam, about 5 nautical miles. I think we're probably doing 4.5 speed over ground. So Danielle is a little bit tired today because the town of Vodice is apparently known for partygoers. So we had a rough night. Well, actually I didn't. I had my earplugs on. But so the boat next to us, there were some young people who were partying really late and kept Danielle up.
Even with my earplugs.
Yeah.
They are naughty. Very naughty. 4 in the morning. It's alright. Life is short. They were having fun. I'm having a chill sail day. Everyone's happy. All is good.
This is a special moment for me because about 1.5 years ago I was in the city looking for a sailboat to purchase, and today I'm on my own boat and visiting the city again.
Another very cool spot in Croatia. The Palace of Diocletian is amazing. All of the surrounding buildings with the super cool architecture is always a treat. My favorite part really is just the food scene. They have some very vibrant and exciting restaurants. As we've been in Croatia now a few months, we've eaten a lot of their typical fare on every menu. You'll have the grilled fish, the Cevapcicis. I'm Cevapcici'd out. The scampi, the seafood pastas. So they're all good, but after eating those multiple times, you're ready for something different. And we certainly had that in Split. One of our favorite restaurants, if you're ever here, a shout out to them, is called Fig. Super, super great spot, little tiny spot. And it's in a little maze, but you'll find it on Google Maps easily. But that was great. And let's see, yeah, there's like a pretty big nightlife scene. So if you're into that, Split is a place to party. And what else? Yeah, I think that about covers it. We only had a day here, and then we connected with a friend from back home, and that was fun. Had dinner with an old work colleague, and so. Yeah, it was fun. It's just Kavanch and I on this boat. So it was one of the first times we kind of got to be social with someone else. So that was a lot of fun, and that was a blast. Oh, and it's the first time I think we really saw a lot of Americans. So Split is definitely one of the popular spots for Americans. And remember when we said we had Croatia to ourselves? Not anymore.
So we left Split about half an hour ago, and that's the city behind me. We are heading towards Brag. That's actually Brač, the island behind me over there. We have some nice winds at the nose. Right now it is 11.5 true wind speed and a 16.0 apparent. So we're doing about how many knots? 6.1 knots. I think if my calculations are correct, we're gonna be there probably in half an hour or so if the wind sustains. Whoa! We have a little gust here. The approach to the Bay of Milna is rather confusing. I counted a total of 7 marinas, all monitoring channel 17, all looking for business.
Sleep at night, search the light, find a way. I'm so confused right now, baby. Didn't work for us, didn't work for us. And I guess it's over now, baby. Didn't work for us.
It didn't take us too long to figure out we were actually docked in the wrong place. You're in this beautiful anchorage called Uvala Luka. I believe it's called Uvala Luka. And it's the west end of Korčula. And we were here at the same anchorage about a month ago. And there were only 2 boats. And look at it now. We have about maybe 25. And there's still more arriving.
My favorite part really with the sailing has been the private anchorages, where it's just really the most peaceful. Marinas are great in some regards, but we've done a lot of marinas in the last 30 days, and that's because of that terrific special that we got where this whole month has been free for us as club members to ACI marinas here in Croatia. But after a while, the marina scene kind of takes a toll in a way. It's not quiet, lots of charter boats, so lots of people partying. Every charter boat is maxed out with gobs of friends or lots of family members, and they just pack you in. The great thing about marinas is though you have access to these beautiful towns that would be a little challenging otherwise if you were anchoring and trying to get your dinghy over there. And then of course, shower, garbage, electric, all of that. Although I really love my shower so much on this boat, I have not been taking showers in the last few marinas we've
Been on the go for the last 30 days or so, and we covered about 640 nautical miles so far in the northern Adriatic. It's been a great trip. We're really enjoying it, especially days like this where you have the wind on the beam and the sea is flat, doing about 6.2 knots on the beam reach, to the point that we wanted to go. It gives you great satisfaction, I tell you that. The last 30 days, you know, we mentioned before, our marina had a deal where we can overnight in any ACI marina for free for the first night. So one of the things I wanted to mention is that's been a great deal for us, and we've been taking advantage of it. We probably are taking advantage of that deal more than anybody else. I can't remember how many marinas we have been in and out to. It's been great. I really appreciate the deal, but I have to say that I'm kind of sick of going into the marinas. If they didn't have this deal, there's no way we can afford it. So within the last 30 days, we mostly stayed at the marinas, and I think we paid maybe 600 kunas so far in 30 days for mooring fees and marina fees, so which is amazing. So what's the deal with the marina? So I think it is, for me at least, you know, I never spent 30 days in a boat, and I never sailed this long for a month. But the deal with the marinas is, as I said, it's first night free, and then you have to pay the next day. So what happens is, like, you go in, and then the next morning you have to leave to go to the next one. So, and then going into the marinas that you don't know of is kind of a stressful thing. You know, you don't know the layout, you don't know where the wind is, or you know where the wind is going to come out, but it's a stressful thing to get into the marina and out of the marina. And every day it's a different challenge, because every day it's a different marina. So in retrospect, when I look back, I wish we spent more time on Anchorages and then mixed it up with the marinas. But hey, you win some, you lose some. Overall, it's been a great deal. We have experienced the good weather, the bad weather, the wind, the no wind, mostly no wind. But I guess that's the Mediterranean in the summer. Our last stretch back to our home base turned out to be about 60 nautical miles. The original plan was to do a stopover at Island of Ep8 and break this long passage into two. But we had favorable strong winds that day, pushing us to the direction we wanted to go. So we decided to save Island of Ep8 for another time, and carried on to our home base marina in Skradin. Within the last 30 days, we covered about 700 nautical miles and visited 13 different islands in northern Adriatic. Make sure to check out our channel where we documented our entire journey. We ended up spending 18 nights at marinas and 11 nights on Anchorages. According to our records, our total marina cost would have been a little shy of 14,000 kunas by now, which is about $2,100 US.